Good morning, David.
Good morning to you.
Here on a nice new fresh week on Prop the Mic
Yes. Can't wait for it. We had an off day yesterday to focus on football and
and
family.
family.
So, family, then football.
Correct.
So, I'm ready to dive into this today.
Yeah, let's do it. Not a lot of props out yet. Seems like we're a little early, or there's not a ton of back to back, so I don't know what's up, but
No,
they're just
there are a couple games with key players that are questionable. So I think that's what's causing those. But what do we got? We got 7 games?
yeah.
Yep, 7 games. I think there were props out on like 5 of the 7, but let's start running through them, and
Sounds good.
we'll go through that. All right. So the first game of tonight is the Raptors at the Pistons. Raptors are 7-7. Pistons are 3-11. Pistons are getting 5 points, and the total is 221. A lot of people out on the Raptors side. Fred VanVleet, Siakam, Achua, they're all out again. And then on the Pistons side, Cade Cunningham is out. So I'm sorry for anybody in Detroit who bought tickets to this game because half of the stars are out. But sharps are on the Raptors and the over 221. All right. So who do you like here?
I'm a little hesitant for this game, given the guys missing, a lot of uncertainty there. So I don't know if I'm gonna be too heavy on this game in particular.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that did pop out, I was looking. I didn't have a ton of time this morning, so I was looking at some different stats to kind of guide me today. So I was looking at matchups like where there was big discrepancies between one team. I could sort it very easily and see one team that's number one in the league in at the rim, and who's the worst at the rim, for example. So one I noticed on this game is that Toronto is third in the league in offensive rebounding percentage, and Detroit is almost dead last. So I think I'd like to play either Scotty Barnes or Chris Boucher. They both have nice, specifically offensive rebounding stats, but rebounding in general. Barnes's line is kind of high though; it's 8.5. So that scares me a little bit, especially in this game with uncertainty and whatnot. So I have a feeling that Chris Boucher line's not out yet. Be maybe a little bit lower. I hit on him the other day on his points and rebounds together. Might be something I might look at again, but I got nothing for this game right now.
Oh, I got something.
It's definitely not Isaiah Stewart.
No. I was complaining to Tom about Isaiah Stewart the other day because he's a beast, right? He gets a lot of points, a lot of rebounds, but he plays. What I've seen the pattern so far the last couple of games is he plays basically until like the 3 or 4 minute mark in the third quarter, and they take him out and they don't put him back in until like 4 minutes left in the game.
Exactly.
Which is brutal because he always exits the game with like 8 rebounds.
And you're just hoping in those last 4 minutes.
Yep. So it worked out okay last game, but
yeah,
that's just too much fire to play
I'm
with.
excited to hear what you got though. Seems like you got
you're
something
not.
juicy. Oh, okay.
I like Scotty Barnes, but I like him under
Under rebounds?
under points.
Okay. All right.
His points line is way too high. 20.5 points.
That's
So,
a product of no FEV and no Siakam.
Yeah, of course, but still, let's get real here. So 20.5 points, minus 120. He's only crossed the 20 point, and it was 19.5 earlier today. So it's being pushed up, which normally would have me concerned, but it just makes me even more excited. He's only crossed the 20-point mark, actually the 19-point mark, 1 out of 10 times this season. In 5 games without Siakam, he's put up 19, 5, 13, 15, and 8. The last 3 of those were the last 3 games.
Okay.
averaging 13.8 points in those games. I don't see it. I don't see how he's crossing 20 points in this game.
I just pulled up something that jives with what you're saying. So I ran his splits on game. He's only played 2 games since last season without Van Vliet and Siakam. One was this season, one was last season. In those 2 games, he had 7 points and 8 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it, David.
I just think he's he actually needs those guys to be productive. But he's a 15-point kind of player. He's not a 20-point guy. So let's roll with Scotty Barnes under 20.5 points tonight.
Okay.
All right.
I like it.
All right. Next game, we got the Hornets 3-11 at the Magic 4-9. So 2 teams that combined have less wins than let's say the Hawks and the Bucks. So pretty bad matchup here.
Mm-hmm.
Magic are -1 in the game. Totals 224. Sharps are on the Hornets and the over. Hayward is out still. Martin, half of the Martin twins are out, and Paolo Banchero was questionable. I'm hoping he plays. All right.
Yeah, I'm hoping he plays too.
What do you like here?
All right, a couple things of note. Orlando, we've been mentioning how Miami is the allowing the most 3-point attempts in the league. Well, Orlando's right behind them.
Yep.
So something to look at on the Charlotte side. You do have some snipers over there. So something to look at. Where we can target against Charlotte is in the mid-range. They're terrible. And correspondingly, Orlando has some guys who are pretty good in the mid-range. For example, Wagner is taking 30% of his shots in the mid-range, and he's shooting 47% on those shots. So somebody I think I'd want to look at tonight. Mm-hmm. Terrence Ross taking 41% of his shots in mid-range and shooting 48%. It's another guy I'd look at to exploit this weakness against the Hornets. And Banchero also taking 42% in the mid-range and shooting a little less, 40%. So those are the guys I want to target in terms of points. And then 2 guys that were sticking out, that the stats of the assist, the potential assist conversion stat I was bringing up the other day on Bruce Brown. Mason Plumlee and Jalen McDaniels are both very high on that list. Mason Plumlee is converting 70% of his potential assists, and Jalen McDaniels is converting 68%. So pretty good numbers there.
Okay.
In terms of plays, there's nothing out on Orlando yet.
Right.
So I like
Banchero.
These Wagner, Ross, and Banchero. I want to see what their point lines are later. In terms of the only other one, let me just look at Plumlee assists here. I think I might go with Plumlee assists tonight.
Yeah,
it's 3.5, right? We were riding that, and then he had 4 games where he had 2, 3, 3, and 3. But then the last 4 games, he's had 5, 4, 5, and 5. So, given his success converting those, and against a young, Orlando team, you got the experienced veteran in Mason Plumlee. I think that'll be the one play I'll go with right now for this game.
And what do you think is the impact of LaMelo on that play or anything else on the Hornet side?
It's a good point. Very good point, David.
It might help, right? I mean, LaMelo.
Yeah, I don't know how that plays out. My initial thought is, LaMelo is going to be getting those dimes, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that all the way through.
So LaMelo returned last game in 28 minutes. He put up 15, 6, and 6. So pretty well-rounded game for only 28 minutes and your first one back. I'm just waiting for the game where we start to bet his triple-double.
Oh yeah, I thought about it the first game back, but I knew the minutes would be
no.
But he's gonna get he'll have probably at least 2 this year, I would say.
Yeah, I think only Luca can put up a triple double in like a half.
Yeah.
He's probably the only guy who can do it.
Jokic, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Jokic.
yeah.
That's a good one too. All right, what do I like here? I'm really surprised you didn't say this because your intro was leading to this, but
Terry
Rozier.
threes.
Terry Rozier.
Yeah.
Obvious play, and I like the value of it tonight. So I played him on the last pod. The juice was very high on 2.5, so we said let's go for 3.5 threes, and he nailed it. I think he nailed it right around halftime. It was maybe into the third quarter, but very early in the game. But tonight, 2.5 threes is minus 136, so pretty good value there. He's done that in 5 of 7 games so far this year, 3 of the last 3, and he's averaging 10 attempts a game, right? So you're talking about a guy only needing to shoot 30% in order to clear this line. I have a couple other takes on this. If you didn't like the minus 136, you could pair that with 20 points, and that'll take him up to plus 114. Or if you just wanted to kind of go for it, 4 threes is plus 200, which I also thought was really good value. So
He got there once against Orlando last year. Yeah.
So I think my play for today is over 2.5 threes, but I think all of those are good takes on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you on that one. Yep, it jives. Jives with
right.
what I was saying.
All right. So the next game we got the Thunder 6-7 at the Celtics 12-3. I think that's 12-3. 10-3. The Celtics are minus 12 for the game. Brogdon is out, and the total is 228.5. Sharps are on the Celtics minus 12, and
Wow.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about a decent Thunder team, but
On a back-to-back, though.
yeah, this really has the makings of a letdown game for the Thunder.
Especially after that next game.
Came into the Garden and just wreaked havoc. Scored
Oh, yeah.
140-something points, right?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Some crazy offensive outputs yesterday
Yeah.
between Embiid and Garland. And yeah. Anyway.
All right. So, who do you like in this game?
All right. Here was what stuck out looking at the matchup. Corner threes against OKC. OKC is 28th in the league defending the corner three, and Boston's number 2 in the league at shooting corner threes. And who are the guys responsible for that on the Celtics? You have Grant Williams. He's in the 99th percentile on this stat. He's taking 29% of his shots from the as corner threes, and he's shooting 53% on them.
I love that. It's like a perfect place for guys who like aren't really that good offensive players to go hide, like him.
Yeah, stick him in the corner.
PJ Tucker, they just go sit there because it's actually one of the most difficult shots, angles for a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
But if you build your whole game around just shooting those, you get good at it. So that's
But yeah, when you practice it, I think it ends up becoming one of the easier shots. No, when it's like when you make it part of your game, right?
Yeah, but look at the spacing on the court over there. Think about how many times like guys get turnovers stepping on the sideline there.
Yeah,
There's, like, not a lot of room in that.
That's
corner.
true. That's true.
But yeah, Grant Williams.
So, and then the other one is Al Horford, who's in the 98th percentile here. He takes 27% of his shots in the corner and is shooting 48% on corner threes. So Grant Williams' line tonight is 9.5. He's in his last 2 games, he had 19 and 13. In 2 games against OKC last year, he had 20 and 14. So I like this play a lot. And I even like the Horford side. He's at 11.5. He's done it in 4 or 5. And in his last 3 games, he's had 21, 13, and 15.
Yeah.
And the matchup is awesome.
Yeah. I was on Horford as well.
Okay.
Over
The threes or the
11.5.
points?
The points.
Okay.
I like the threes, but the juice was too high. And the points was good value, minus 105 for 11.5 points.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I really liked Horford there. I also
I'm worried.
really...
I'm worried now.
Right.
I'm worried. When we agree,
It's better when we oppose.
Alperen's Şengün happens.
Oh yeah, that was a big Şengün.
Şengüning.
We got Şengüned.
It's like I got what is it? I got Shanghaied. Got Şengüned.
He let's not talk about him, please.
Okay. Never again.
Yeah, but I was also diving a bit into 3-pointers, which I'll cover in the final game. But what I did notice was the Celtics are the number one scoring team from 3-point. So they're averaging 16 made 3-pointers a game.
Mm-hmm.
So they love firing away.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think Al Horford will cover those 11.5. I like the Grant Williams play.
Mm-hmm.
I had one more on the Celtics side, unless you had something else.
I have something to note, but go ahead.
All right, I like Jaylen Brown rebounds.
That's okay. That was the guy I had the other note on, but go ahead.
Okay. He sat out the last game, so he hasn't played in a bit. So I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to have a lot of energy. I think there's going to be a lot of missed shots on the Thunder side. So
great point.
I like 6.5 rebounds. He's done it in 7 out of 10 games, minus 155. So it's a little juicy. But the 3 games that he didn't do it in were the Knicks, Chicago, and Chicago. So all pretty good rebounding teams. So so Jaylen Brown 6.5 rebounds. I saw other people on Tatum rebounds. But that line is, I think, up to 8.5. I just think that's too high for Tatum, especially in a game that could be a blowout. So,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I like that play a lot. If you don't love the juice on the rebounds, the other thing I wanted to point out is OKC's rim defense is last in the league.
Yeah.
Okay. And Jaylen Brown is taking 37% of his shots at the rim and shooting 66% on those shots. So if you wanted to maybe do something like put the 20 points and 4 rebounds might be like a minus 105 or something. That might be something to consider. I feel like, especially considering he had the last game off, OKC on the back-to-back, this could be a nice game for him to have a good game.
Yeah, I was initially looking at his points because I think Tatum just came off of a 40-point game, so I could see him kind of stepping back a little bit. Although he's really going for the MVP. I can't find my sign. I was looking for it.
You have a Jason Tatum MVP sign?
I saved it.
There it is, MVP.
I put so much effort into creating that. I had to save it. All right, so those are our plays for this game. There was nothing on the Thunder side. I wouldn't even be surprised if they sit out SGA today. So
it could be. I was going to say Boston's rim defense is second in the league. Really good. So I had a note here: fade SGA ? Here, given Boston's great rim defense, and that's his game. That's slashing, cutting to the basket. That's he's doing that more than anybody else in the league.
Okay. So. All right, good. All right, so the next game we got Suns 8-4 at the Heat 6-7. Heat are -2 in the game. Total is 215. Cam Johnson is going to be out for a couple more weeks, which is a shame because he was really coming into form. And CP3 is a question mark. Chris Paul and Hero is also a question mark. So, so definitely some impact, which is why I didn't see any lines out. I think there were a couple maybe on the Heat side, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I got nothing. These are also 2 teams that kind of stay away from, better defensive teams. What was the over under again?
215.
Okay.
And the sharps are on the under.
Yeah.
I like just a straight gameplay on the Heat. Heat -2. Suns have lost 3 in a row. The Heat just won 2 in a row against Charlotte. I think the Heat have the momentum. The Suns, especially if Chris Paul doesn't play, They're a little out of whack. So I would play the Heat.
Okay.
Unofficial play.
Okay.
This is a prop show.
That's right.
All right. Let's go to the next game. Clippers at the Rockets. Clippers are 7-6. Kawhi and Wall are out. Rockets are 2-11. Jalen Green is a question mark. I hope he plays. The Rockets are getting 5.5 points. The total is 220. And the Sharps are on the Clippers minus 5.5 and the under.
Okay.
Just of note, which is insane. This is actually the first of 2 games where the teams are playing each other for the 3rd time. Right? These teams have
Wow.
These teams have played. This will be their 14th game, and they're now playing the same opponent 3 times. That's the same for the next game we're going to cover as well. But in those 2 games, Clippers won 109-101 and 95-93. So Clippers have had the upper hand in this matchup, but have not really blown them out.
Why are they doing that? Do you
I don't
think
know.
you want to see? I mean, it seems all the time we're talking about, this. I know they do these home and home sort of things and whatnot, but don't you want to see a team see how a team performs against one team early in the season and then later? It seems like, a lot of these guys, they're going to see each other only early or only late. I don't know. It's,
I mean, I bet
weird.
some of it has to do with just scheduling and trying to minimize travel, but still, it's like play a team 3 times in 13 games, 14 games. That seems like a lot. All right, I got a fun play in this game, but let's hear your matchups here.
All right. So the thing that stood out the most when I looked at the game matchups was non-corner threes in this game.
Okay.
So Houston is number 3 in the league at shooting non-corner threes, and the Clippers are 26th at allowing corner threes. So this one's crazy. I don't know if there'll be lines on him tonight, but Garrison Matthews
Nope.
is taking 80% of his shots as non-corner threes, but we won't have a play on him. But the guys to look at are Eric Gordon. He's taking just under 50% of his shots as our non-corner threes, and he's shooting 37%. So not crazy. But Jalen Green is taking 1/3 of his shots as non-corner threes, 33%. He's shooting 40% on those shots. So those are the 2 guys I'd want to target from that game. Jabari Smith taking 41% of his shots from non-corner threes, but he's shooting 29%, so we'll stay away from him.
Yeah.
Some rookie
Remember
struggles
when
there.
Garrison Matthews was like an all-star for 4 games or something like that?
Yes, I won a bet on him having, I think, 20 points or something, 20 or 25 points. I remember a big one of those like $5 ones when the odds are, plus 5,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was I remember that.
Well, he's come back down to earth a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
But there's no lines on any of these guys, so.
I saw a lot. Not on those guys. I have a couple plays here.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right. I think the obvious play here, not overthinking this too much, is Paul George. In the 2 matchups, George put up 35 and 28. So that's the one advantage we have of these teams playing each other for the 3rd time is we got some good data to go by. Yeah. His line is 26.5 points. So he's only done it in 5 out of 10 games, but 2 out of 2 against Houston. So this is purely a matchup play. I'm going to go with Paul George over 26.5 points. That's my boring, chalky play. The more exciting play is Marcus Morris over 2.5 threes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Seems odd, right?
It seems very odd.
So pretty much since Kawhi's been out, 5 of the last 6 games, he's averaged 7 attempts, and he's covered the 3 threes.
Okay.
So the odds on this are plus 152 for him to hit 3 threes. So if you think about 5 out of 6 and plus 152, that's really good. The reason why the odds are so good is just the shooting percentage. He's getting 7 attempts, so he's got to hit 3 out of 7. So that's a relatively high percentage.
Hmm.
But I would say keep riding this, and hopefully he does not shoot from the corner.
Uh, yeah, I like that. I hear just looking at this season, he's got some pretty good stats on having 1 day rest and shooting threes.
Hmm.
Just looking at this season alone, he's played 5 games on 1 day rest, and he's gotten 3 times he's had over three threes. Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So next game we got the Hawks 8-5 at the Bucks 10-2. Bucks are -4 in the game. Total is 225.5. Sharps are on the Bucks -4 and the under. This is also the third time these teams have played.
Yep.
When Atlanta was home, they won 117-98. They kind of just shut down the Bucks. The prior matchup, I believe it was the prior one, at Milwaukee, the Bucks won 123-115. So Giannis scored 25 points in the first game, 34 in the second game. And Trae Young in the one of the 2 games that he played, he scored 42 points.
Hmm.
And DeJounte Murray scored 25 points in the other game. So,
Yep.
yeah. So, obviously I see why they're on the Bucks at home, even with Holiday out. Looks like Giannis is going to play. It looks like the home team wins this game. But who do you like in terms of matchups?
All right. So this one really stood out quite a bit. Atlanta is the #1 team in the NBA right now from the mid range, and Milwaukee is almost dead last, number 29 in the league.
In defending the mid range, or
Yeah,
okay,
but their rim defense and threes are great. So you kind of have like the weakness of Milwaukee matching up with the strength of Atlanta. So who's causing Atlanta to be the #1 mid range team in the league? You got Murray taking half of his shots from the mid range and shooting 45% on them. You got Hunter taking 47% and shooting 44% on those shots. And you got Trae Young taking also just under 50% and shooting 41% on those shots. So pretty good. John Collins also, he's taking just under 40% of his shots are in the mid range, and he's shooting 46%. So they're really crushing the mid range game. I like 2 plays. I like Murray and Trae. I like Murray 21.5 points. He's done it in his last 5 of 6. He had 25 against Milwaukee last week, and he's cleared that in 5 of 6 games this season on 1 day rest. So I like that, and I also think Trae can get there too to 26.5. His last 4 games against Milwaukee: 42, 27, 30, and another 42.
wow,
Yeah.
yeah, he's been a little off though lately.
Which is also I did notice that I think he's trending back up. If you look at his point output, he was up and then he dropped back down. And it's like a staircase coming back up, baby.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're gonna jump on that staircase, walk back up to
Yes.
victory.
Yes. I am.
All right. Was that both of your plays?
That's both my plays. Yep.
All right, so I also was on Murray. First game, one of the games he was 25, 8, and 11.
Yep.
The other one he was 21, 5, and 6. So I was trying to look at guys like Collins and such, but it looked like Murray was the most consistent player in both of the matchups so far, both of the games so far.
Yeah.
So here's a little math lesson on Murray. All right, so I looked at kind of doing a combo bet of all of his major stats.
Okay.
So what I looked at was 20 points, which he's done in 10 of 13 games. I looked at 4 rebounds, which is what he's done in 12 of 13 games. And I looked at 6 assists, which he's done in 10 of 13 games. And I looked at 1-3, which he's done in 12 of 13 games. Okay?
No steal?
No steal. I didn't put that in, but that would be a good one to
Yeah.
to make this even more complicated.
Yeah.
So basically, if you just do the straight math, the probability of those four hitting is 50%.
Wow. Okay.
Right? The odds, if you put those four together, are plus 145, which is an implied probability of 41%. So
Okay.
you basically are getting a 9% boost on this type of bet. If you didn't like the threes, you could take the threes out. Those three stats, assists, rebounds, points, would all give you 55%. And the odds would be plus 124, which is an implied probability of 45%. So same deal, about 9-10%
Nice.
boost. So there's value on this, but obviously you've got four legs that one of them could go wrong and you could bust.
Yeah.
But I like it. And then if you layer on his performance against the Bucks in the previous two games where he cleared all four of these stats, I think it's a solid bet. So let's go with that.
Nice. I like that. The parlay, the big time
Parlay.
4-leg parlay. I love
Parlay.
it. Those are my favorite kind of bets.
Extra sweaty.
That's how I live my life.
You know what though? I was thinking about it the other day, and what I think is advantageous in doing a parlay on the same player is you're kind of concentrating your risk of injury or risk of fouls on one player versus two players, right?
Gotcha.
So if I were to say, let's do points on Murray, but assists on Trey, if either of those guys get in foul trouble or one of them gets injured, it's probably going to be busted. Here, all your eggs in one basket, but at least you're minimizing some of your risk.
Makes sense.
Okay.
I like it. I like that. This is the first one of these.
Yeah, we talked about it, but we never made it official.
Yeah.
This one is official.
I like it, especially because these are the ones we really like to. This is the kinds that we in practice really like to do instead of the single guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a general statement, it's best to minimize the number of parlays that you're focusing on. But
easier said than done.
When you alt it down,
Yeah.
you're obviously increasing your odds. So, all right. So last game we got the Spurs at the Warriors. Spurs are 6-7. Warriors are 5-8. Warriors ended up losing last night to the Kings.
I didn't see. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
pretty sure they did. The Warriors are -7.5 in the game, and the total is a high 233. Sharps are on the Spurs and the over 233. So there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. Did you see anything out for this game?
Yeah, there's a ton. All of a sudden, it all just came out.
Okay, so before you dive into the players, I didn't see any player props, so I laid off this game. But the one bet that I thought was interesting was what they call the 2x3. So 2 3-pointers in the first 3 minutes of the game by either team combined.
Yeah.
A very solid adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
So the odds on that hitting, yes, are -110. And the reason why I liked it in this game, Golden State is actually the number 3 team, right? So we talked about Boston being the number 1 team in 3-point scoring. Golden State is in the number 3 team at 14.8 3-pointers scored per game. San Antonio, just right behind them at number 7 at 13.4 3-pointers scored per game. So both these teams like to shoot threes. I think they're going to be jacking them up at the beginning of the game. It seems like the Warriors, just shoot 3-pointers like at the start of every game. So that was my play here in the absence of player props. But is anything standing out for you?
Not a ton. I also didn't do a ton. These lines just went up like 5 minutes before we were going to go on, so I didn't have a ton of digging to do either. But one that was popping for me was Draymond assists.
Really?
It's 6.5. He hasn't been getting there, but in their last 2 games, he had 11 and 13. And this is going to be a high scoring game. He seems to be one of these guys that especially when it comes to assists, performs better on back-to-backs. He's done it in 4 of his last 6 games on a back-to-back. And his last 3 against San Antonio, 8, 5, and 9. So he cleared in 2 out of 3. Considering it's going to be a high-scoring game, a lot of points to be scored. Draymond will be dishing the ball around. I like that play quite a bit. And the other one I was looking at, I just can't get off my man, Devin Vassell.
Yeah.
He, the one I probably like his points as well, but just looking at his threes, the two times he played Golden State last year, he had his line's 2.5. 2 times he played Golden State last year, he had 3 and 4. On 2 days rest, his last 5 games on 2 days rest, 7, 3, 4, 4, and 3. So he, and also in there, he also had 2 games with 5. If you extend back to the 10 games out on 2 days rest, so he seems to be able to knock him down once he's had some rest. And Golden State's on a back-to-back, so maybe they'll be a little bit little sluggish, and get an extra step on them, a little more spacing, whatever it is. I'll take Vassell over 2.5 threes, and I have a feeling I'll be on his points later as well, but no official play right now.
Yeah, I hope 2 of those 3 threes come in the first 3 minutes.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking at his threes. Very compelling.
Yeah.
He's only played 9 games so far this season. The first game he had no threes, but since then, 8 of 9 games. The only game that he didn't cross the 3 mark was the previous game on 11-11 against Milwaukee, which you just said is a good defensive team against the 3.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think this is, like you said, in a game that's going to go over 233 points likely. That to me is a no-brainer. A little juicy at minus 160, but I still think it's worth it. I think that could cash, easily in the third quarter.
Yeah, this might be one that you also might want to do 20 points and 2 threes maybe if you felt like the 3 might be a little, you might be a little bit worried. Just to look at he's shooting, his effective field goal percentage is 58%. He's shooting, where is it? From 3, he's shooting 45% from 3 so far this season. So good.
I was just looking at his attempts. He only averages a little bit less than 8 attempts a game, but in most of these games he's hitting 4 or 5 threes.
Yeah, he's pretty efficient. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, our man.
Pretty solid.
All right.
What else we got? Anything else?
That was everything, I think.
Okay.
That was everything. Just checking. Yeah, I think we got it all.
All right, and got Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Eagles versus the Commanders.
See this?
Pick there. Jets.
Big win by the Vikings yesterday. That was awesome.
That was a crazy finish.
Yeah.
Did you see the end of the game?
I did.
It was like...
I did. I'll take it.
I've never seen something like that. So what, are the Jets in first place now?
I don't know if they're in first now, but I think they're definitely in second. I don't know the exact standings, but it's good for the Jets' chances of making the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right.
So, all right.
Good.
Oh, sorry. Pick for Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
What's the game?
Eagles and Commanders.
The Eagles and the Commies. Gotta go with the Eagles.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
Really way to go.
What's the line?
There. It's an 11-point line.
Really putting my neck out there. Yeah.
Put your neck out there. Yeah. The Dolphins are in first place at 7-3, and the Jets.
I forgot. Yeah, the Dolphins have been
Jets
playing
are,
well.
6-3.
And Bills are 6-3.
It says the Jets are 6-3, and the Bills are 6-3.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Enough NFL.
Yeah, this is a basketball show.
That's right. All right. Well, good work today, David. And we'll talk to you later. All right.
Bye.
Bye.